What the Most Successful People Do on the Weekend, by Laura Vanderkam. Introduction. There's a man named Mike Huckabee. You might know him as a politician, a news host, a man who once ran for president. His schedule is, to put it mildly, relentless. He hosts a 3-hour daily radio show, travels every Thursday for his television program, and tapes that show on Saturdays, guaranteeing him a grueling 6-day workweek. By all accounts, this is the kind of schedule that should leave a person utterly drained, a shell of himself by the time the weekend rolls around. You would think his one day off would be spent in a state of near collapse, doing absolutely nothing. But that's not what happens. In fact, the secret to how he manages this exhausting life isn't found in his work week at all. It's found in his Sundays. On Sunday morning, he's up at 6 a.m. to exercise. He attends a church service with his wife. He spends the afternoon on the beach, listening to the waves. And in the evening, he often cooks dinner on the grill for friends. His day is full. It's structured. It's planned. And it is the very source of his energy. This presents a fascinating paradox, doesn't it? That the secret to rest isn't found in a lack of structure, but in the right kind of structure. This is the world that time management expert Laura Vanderkam invites us to explore in her wonderfully insightful book, What the Most Successful People Do on the Weekend. She has studied the lives of some of the busiest and most accomplished people on the planet, and she has discovered something profound. Our weekends are not just a leftover period of time to recover from the week. They are the secret launchpad for a successful and joyful life. Today, we are going to unlock the principles from this remarkable book. By the end of our time together, you will understand why doing nothing is often the most exhausting thing you can do. And you'll possess the tools to transform your precious 60 hours of freedom, from Friday evening to Monday morning, from a source of disappointment into your greatest source of rejuvenation and power. Book summary. For so many of us, the week ends with a sigh of relief. Thank goodness it's Friday. We imagine a weekend stretching out before us, a blank canvas of freedom, full of possibility. We dream of catching up on rest, tackling a few projects, and having some fun. And yet, how often does that dream curdle into a familiar disappointment? The weekend seems to vanish in a blur of errands, mindless chores, and hours spent scrolling through our phones or watching television we didn't even mean to watch. Before we know it, that dreaded feeling begins to creep in. The Sunday night blues. We're staring down the barrel of another Monday morning, feeling just as tired as we were on Friday, with a nagging sense that our most precious time just slipped right through our fingers. If this sounds familiar, you are not alone. It is the great trap of modern weekends. We believe that because our weeks are so structured and demanding, our weekends must be the opposite, completely unstructured and spontaneous. We think the answer to our exhaustion is to do nothing. But here is the first, crucial lesson from the book. In our hyper-connected world, nothing is a myth. Time, like nature, abhors a vacuum. If you don't choose what to do with your time, something else will fill it. And that something else is rarely fulfilling. Nothing today means hours parked on the sofa, lost in the digital haze. It's leisure that doesn't energize us, and work that isn't productive. It's a recipe for regret. The most successful people understand this. They've discovered what Mike Huckabee knows instinctively. Your free time is too precious to be totally leisurely about leisure. To truly rest and recharge, you must treat your weekend with intention. You have to set an appointment to go off the grid as surely as you set an appointment to go on it. This leads us to a powerful concept the author calls active rest. Think about an athlete training for a marathon. Their training plan doesn't just consist of running and then collapsing on the couch. The best plans include something called cross-training, biking, swimming, or other activities that work different muscles. This kind of active rest prevents injury, avoids burnout, and actually makes them a stronger runner than if they had just run more. The same principle applies to our lives. The best way to recover from one kind of labor is not to stop all labor, but to take up a different kind. Your brain, your soul, your spirit, they all need to cross-train. If your job is mentally taxing and involves sitting at a desk all day, the best rejuvenation won't come from sitting on a couch all weekend. It will come from something active, something creative, something that uses a different part of yourself. The book is filled with wonderful examples of this. We meet Ted Devine, a CEO who recharges by coaching youth hockey. On the ice, he has to be fully present, engaging a different kind of energy than he does in the boardroom. We meet Marcus Samuelsson, a world-famous chef, who spends his weekends playing soccer with friends. It's a way for him to blow off steam and connect with people in a way he can't in the high-pressure environment of his kitchen. Bill McGowan, a TV correspondent, finds his zen by chopping wood. It's a physical, tangible challenge that is a world away from the abstract pressures of his job. For each of them, these activities are not chores. They are labors of a different sort, labors of love, of passion, of connection, that fill their tanks back up. The key is to trade the work you have to do for the work you want to do. So, the question becomes, how do we find these restorative activities and, more importantly, make sure they actually happen? This brings us to the second pillar of a successful weekend, embracing the profound power of anticipation. Imagine you won a free dinner at a fancy French restaurant. When the organizers ask when you'd like to book your table, would you want to go right this second? Probably not. A study found that most people, when given this choice, wanted to wait over a week. Why? Because they wanted to savor it. They wanted to look forward to it. Psychologists have found that a huge portion of the happiness we get from an event comes not from the experience itself, but from the anticipation of it. Think about the magic of Christmas morning. The actual unwrapping of presents might only last an hour, but the joy of seeing the presents under the tree can last for weeks. A fascinating study of vacationers in the Netherlands confirmed this. Researchers found that the biggest boost in happiness for travelers didn't come after the trip, or even during it. The peak of happiness occurred in the weeks before the vacation, as they imagined the sights, the sounds, and the experiences to come. This is an incredible insight. It means that by simply planning a few enjoyable things for your weekend ahead of time, you get to experience the joy of them twice. You get the pleasure of looking forward to them all week, and then you get the pleasure of actually doing them. If you wait until Saturday morning to decide what to do, you rob yourself of this powerful, free source of happiness. This is why a good weekend needs a plan, not a rigid, minute-by-minute spreadsheet. That would be exhausting. Instead, the author suggests a simple, elegant framework. Schedule just 3 to 5 anchor events across the entire weekend. These are the big rocks, the main events that you can look forward to. 3 events of 3 hours each is only 9 hours of your 36 waking weekend hours. That leaves plenty of time for spontaneity, for relaxation, for doing whatever you feel like in the moment. But these anchors give your weekend a shape and a purpose. They ensure that you will do something memorable, something that will rejuvenate you. So what could these anchor events be? This is where the fun begins. The author introduces a wonderful exercise called the List of 100 Dreams. It's a brainstorming session where you write down anything and everything you might want to do or have in your life. The first few items might be big things, like see the pyramids in Egypt. But as you keep going, you'll start to come up with smaller, more accessible fonts of joy that make for perfect weekend anchors. Your list might include things like going for a long run on a scenic trail, trying that new restaurant everyone is talking about, having friends over for a game night, taking the family to a museum or a local park, visiting a farmer's market, taking a class to learn a new skill. This list becomes your personal treasure chest of weekend possibilities. On a Thursday or Friday evening, you can sit down, perhaps with your family or partner, look at your list, and pluck out a few gems to anchor your weekend. You might peg one for Friday night, one for Saturday afternoon, one for Saturday night, and one for Sunday. Research has shown that there are certain categories of activities that give us the biggest happiness return. A study of working women in Texas found they were happiest when they were exercising, engaging in spiritual activities, and socializing. So, a great strategy is to try to include one anchor event from each of these categories in your weekend. Maybe that's a hike with a friend on Saturday, a visit to a place of worship on Sunday morning, and a family dinner on Sunday evening. Of course, even with the best laid plans, life gets in the way. There are always the have-to-dos that threaten to hijack our weekends, chores, errands, and work that follows us home. Successful people don't ignore these things, they manage them strategically. Let's start with chores. The big problem with chores is that they expand to fill the available time. If you dedicate your entire Saturday to getting things done, you'll find that cleaning the house and running errands can somehow take all day. The solution is to compress them. Designate a small, specific window of time for chores, say, 90 minutes on Saturday morning. By creating a boundary, you become far more efficient. You work quickly to get it all done so you can move on to the fun things you've planned. And if you see a dirty floor at another time, you can tell yourself, there is a time for cleaning floors, and now is not that time. The other great weekend encroachment is work. In our always-on culture, the temptation to check email is constant. To combat this, the book suggests we rediscover a timeless, powerful idea: the Sabbath. You don't have to be religious to appreciate the wisdom of setting aside a dedicated period of time for rest, a true break from work and technology. The book shares the incredible story of Rinasak, a partner in a major accounting firm. She is an Orthodox Jew and observes the Sabbath from Friday sundown to Saturday sundown, meaning she is completely offline and unreachable. In her high-pressure field, people regularly work 7 days a week during the busy season. But Rina never did. And here's the amazing part. She didn't get less done. She says she got more done than her peers. How is that possible? Because she knew her time was limited. When she was at work, she was laser-focused. There was no time to waste, because at 4:30 on Friday, she was leaving. That enforced break made her more productive during the week and allowed her to come back on Sunday fully recharged. It also forced a different kind of connection with her family. With no screens, they had to spend that time together, talking, playing, and strengthening their relationships. You can create your own version of a tech Sabbath. Maybe it's for 24 hours, or maybe it's just for a Saturday afternoon. The point is to create a deliberate space free from the demands of your inbox, a space where your mind can wander, relax, and reconnect with the world around you. Now we come to what might be the single most important secret in the entire book. It's a technique for conquering the Sunday night blues and winning the week before it even begins. The dread of Monday morning often begins to cast its shadow early on Sunday afternoon, slowly draining the joy from the rest of the day. The solution? Schedule something genuinely fun and rewarding for Sunday evening. By planning a positive anchor event for Sunday night, you extend the weekend. You keep your mind focused on the fun to come, rather than on the stress of the week ahead. It could be a regular family dinner, like one woman in the book whose extended family gets together every Sunday. It could be a yoga class, like the TV producer who uses it to sweat out the toxins of the week and center herself for Monday. It could even be volunteering. Nothing puts your own work stress in perspective like helping those who are less fortunate. This simple shift transforms Sunday night from an ending into a celebratory launch. And then, after the fun is over, you perform one final, powerful ritual. You take just 15 or 20 minutes to plan your week ahead. This isn't about creating a rigid schedule. It's about looking at the next 168 hours and asking yourself, what are the most important things I want to accomplish? The author, drawing on the work of Stephen Covey, suggests thinking about your different roles in life, your career, your relationships, and yourself. What are one or two key priorities in each of these areas for the coming week? Maybe for your career, it's finish the big project proposal. For your relationships, it's have a date night with my partner. And for yourself, it's get to the gym 3 times. You then take these priorities and block them into your calendar first, before the week fills up with other people's demands. This simple act of planning on Sunday night ensures that you hit Monday morning with a sense of purpose and control. You're not just reacting to the week, you are commanding it. You are putting first things first. When you combine these principles, active rest, the power of anticipation, anchor events, managing the have-to-dos, and winning Sunday night, something magical happens. Your weekends cease to be a source of frustration. They become a masterpiece of your own design, a powerful engine for a life filled with success, joy, and meaning. The author ends with a beautiful and sobering thought. If you live to be 80 years old, you will have a grand total of 4,160 weekends. That's it. They pass whether we think about how to spend them or not. It's so easy to tell ourselves that we'll do the fun, adventurous, meaningful things next weekend, when we're less tired, less busy. But time is not infinite. She asks a simple, profound question that stays with you long after you finish the book. What are you saving your energy for? This is all there is. So make a fuss. Make a show. Spend your energy now. Because a life well lived is not built in the far-off future. It is built in the small, precious, and powerful weekends we are given, one at a time. Commentary. As we reflect on the wisdom in this book, what strikes me most is the empowering sense of control it gives us back. It's so easy to feel like our weekends are something that just happened to us, that we are at the mercy of our exhaustion, our chores, and the endless demands on our time. But Laura Vanderkam gently and persuasively reminds us that time is a choice. Every hour is a choice. We are not passive victims of our calendars. We are the architects of our lives. The most profound lesson, for me, is the shift from viewing the weekend as a time of passive recovery to a time of active rejuvenation. The idea of cross-training for life is a game changer. It explains why binge-watching a TV show can leave us feeling more drained than before, while spending 3 hours gardening or playing a sport can leave us feeling energized and alive. We are not designed to be passive. We are designed to engage, to create, to connect. When we honor that, we find a source of energy that is limitless. This book is not about adding more to your plate or creating a weekend so jam-packed that it feels like another work week. It's about being intentional. It's about choosing quality over quantity. It's about recognizing that a weekend with just a few well-chosen, anticipated events can be infinitely more restoring than a weekend of aimless, unstructured nothingness. If you're ready to start applying these ideas, here are 3 simple actions you can take this week. 1. Schedule one anchor event. Just one. Look at the coming weekend and plan one thing that you will genuinely look forward to. It could be a walk in a place you love, a coffee with a good friend, or a trip to the bookstore. Put it on your calendar and give yourself the gift of anticipation. 2. Start your 100 dreams list. Don't feel pressured to get to 100 right away. Just open a notebook or a file on your computer and start writing. What are the things, big and small, that would bring you joy? This is not a to-do list. It's a possibility list. Let it be a source of inspiration. 3. Reclaim your Sunday night. Plan something enjoyable for this coming Sunday evening. It doesn't have to be elaborate. It could be as simple as making popcorn and watching a favorite movie with your family, or having a long phone call with someone you love. Transform the end of your weekend from a countdown to Monday into a final, happy memory. That was a summary of What the Most Successful People Do on the Weekend by Laura Vanderkam. We certainly explored the core ideas together today, but I want to be honest with you. A summary is like looking at a travel brochure for a beautiful country. You can see the pictures, you can read about the landmarks, but you can't truly experience the magic until you go there yourself. The real value of this book is in the way its stories and simple truths settle into your mind as you read. This summary is a map, but the book is the journey. If any part of our conversation today sparked something in you, I encourage you to grab a copy. Reading it is an investment in your most precious, non-renewable resource, your time. The link to the book is in the description. Also, if you found this summary helpful and want to continue exploring the ideas within the world's most impactful books, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to Billionaire's Bookshelf. It helps us grow this community and ensures you won't miss our next adventure into another life-changing text. Let's keep learning and growing together.